Alright, it's September 15th and I'm going to take a look at my Venus flytraps. I have my DCXL right here, and I have my newer SD Kronos right here, and all of them have so many plants by now. I have some pitcher plants in here, as well as some in here too, some Nepenthes, but it's not growing so well because a lot of them are dying off. But hopefully some survive. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the size of some of these guys. Looks like this plant actually has the biggest traps, but these aren't that far behind either. For example, this one right here, that's actually pretty hard to check, but it's hard to see it, but it's about 1.5 inches. Let's check this guy right here. This one's close to 1.65, so it's about almost a 1/4 inch away from being 2 inches. Usually traps don't really get bigger than 2 inches, but this guy right here is pretty amazing. This is probably my biggest one. I actually accidentally closed it just now, but this guy is literally 1 3/4 inch in length. It's really hard to get a good angle, but yeah, I'm closing a lot of traps, but that's fine. But yeah, these guys are super sensitive, but usually within a couple hours they'll open back up if they end up getting closed. But yeah, each one has well over 10 traps. And this guy right here, it was not even this big like about half a year ago, like 6 months ago. Actually not even that long ago. It was about 5.5 months ago when I actually planted all these. And this is actually bigger than this was. This was actually one plant originally, but it split. But yeah, these guys are pretty amazing. Looks like most of them already have traps over 1 inch. And also starting to get more of a reddish tint as it goes towards the fall. And I'm also noticing, looks like there's a lot of dieback with the older traps, so perhaps due to the lower light, they're going towards dormancy period, which not really sure if it will happen in Hawaii, but I might still put them in a refrigerator just to be safe. Let's move on to my SD Kronos. And these on average, aside from the 1, 2, 3 plants I have, are pretty small. These 3 are starting to make traps that exceed 1 inch. I believe this is probably my biggest one, which I'd say is about 1.15. Yeah, I have some traps that are over 1 inch. This is probably closer to a 1.1 or so, but nothing super big like the DCXL. But both of these plants should have the capability of making 2-inch traps, so as long as I give these guys adequate space and light, they should really take off. For example, this is a flower stalk propagation. All this stuff right here, about, let's see, what was it, close to 5 months ago, maybe not even, all started from one plant. And this one plant probably had about as much mass as this guy right here. And right now there's probably almost a couple dozen growth points. For example, this one probably has like 5 growth points or so. Thinking probably later on in the next couple of days, I'm gonna give these guys a feeding and I'm gonna separate them just to give them a little bit more of their own space. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. If you ever want to decide to grow fly traps, I would definitely say go with the coolest species. That might cost a little bit more at the beginning, but they get pretty big and they look pretty cool. And here's my Drosera regia, my other carnivorous plant, which really hasn't done too well, but I think as it gets cooler in the winter months, it should start recovering and starting to get bigger.